Getting people to know about your game can be tough, but luckily not impossible. In a previous video, I mentioned how I think that getting YouTubers and streamers to play your game is the best way to market an indie game. It was the main way I marketed my own game, and I believe a lot of my success was thanks to that. Approaching video creators is a simple concept. You get in touch with them and ask them to play your game. But there are many ways to do that and many things you can tinker with. One of those is the message. What do you actually say to the creator in hopes of maximizing the chance that he or she will give your game a try? In this video, I will show you the actual email template I used to approach creators with. I will use it as a base to talk about what I think you should include in your message. I will also try to be analytical and make points about what I also could have done better. Hi, my name is Auro. I'm a solo indie game developer and I'm the creator of a game called Mortal Glory. On top of that, I also make these weekly YouTube videos sharing my experiences to help you with your own game dev journey. If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and slap that subscribe button. Also, if you find these videos helpful, I would really appreciate if you left a like for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me. Alright. Let's start with today's topic. Properly drafting your email is very important as it will have a big difference on how your message is received. There are probably many opinions on what is the best kind of a message to send to creators. I don't have the objective truth on that, but I will give you my opinion, and as mentioned, I will show you what kind of an email format I used myself to approach YouTubers and streamers with. My email probably isn't perfect. In fact, I know it's not perfect, but I think it's at least decent. I just checked and I approached 74 creators manually by myself, and at least 19 of them ended up featuring the game on a video that I know of. I say at least and that I know of because quite a few creators actually didn't respond to me but still made a video. Keeping track of streamers, whether or not they played the game, is also kind of challenging. But if you go just by the numbers I know of, that's 19 people out of 74 that featured the game after I manually contacted them. So a success rate of 25%. At least to me, that sounds very high. I don't think it's all thanks to my email formatting, but I think it shows that my email was at least decent. So, what should your email look like? You want it to be brief and informative. Video creators get constantly bombarded with offers among other emails, so it is not likely they will dedicate much time to reading a long backstory about your game. This is what I recommend you include in your message. Interesting and concise title. I don't think my title was very interesting, but back then I couldn't think of anything interesting to put there. If your game has a unique hook, an interesting setting, or an exciting genre combination, I would try to put that in the title. If your game has won some awards or a big YouTuber has played it, that might also be something you could mention in the title. Anything you think might catch the attention of the creator. Greetings. I think it's a nice touch to include the name of the creator here. I also prefer using their real name if possible, instead of a channel name. This way, they instantly know that I'm not a spam bot that just scraped their channel name. Short details about why you're contacting them. If you can make it interesting or somehow personalized to the creator, that's probably the best move. But if not, I don't think there's anything wrong with being brief and to the point. The name of your game. I also include the platform here, just in case someone only makes videos about games on a specific platform, but I don't think it's that relevant. Short pitch about your game or specifying the genre. If you have a cool short pitch about your game, this would be the best place to put it. Right here at the top where it will be the most visible. I hadn't really thought of a pitch for my game, so my pitch was simply 2 genre words accompanied with a thematic keyword. It's not really a great pitch, but I think it gives a few important keywords to latch on to in a very short format. Mention of a hook or an interesting feature the game has. This one isn't strictly required, but I think it's good to somehow try to make your game sound special and different from all the other games. If you already mentioned a hook in your pitch above, this one can be skipped, or you can use it to tell about some other interesting features in the game. But be wary, you need to make sure they are actually interesting features to the players and not just you as the developer. In my case, I included here interesting details about me as the game's creator. Honestly, I thought it was a good hook for approaching some publications, but it probably wasn't that interesting for video creators. It makes me sound more relatable, but for some it could also give the idea that the game is amateurish and not worth playing. So this is also something I could have improved on. Embargo, if you want to have one. Many times you don't want the creators to post videos until a specific date. This is called setting an embargo. I recommend having an embargo and setting it to the release date. I will talk more about this a bit later in the video. Link to more info. You want to have a place where the video creators and publications can go to easily collect more information about your game. This is called a press kit. You can find ready-made press kit templates to use if you don't want to make your own. For example, I am using a press kit template made by Vlambeer, which is pretty popular among indies. Aside from basic information, it's also important to include high-quality art assets of your game into the press kit. You want to make it as easy as possible for the creator to add your game's flair to their content, whether it's a thumbnail on YouTube or an article in a game magazine. Access to the game. Personally, I recommend including a key to your game in the first email you send. You want to make it as easy as possible for the creator to try your game and feature it in their content if they want to. I think it's also a good idea to mention the key in the title, so they immediately know the purpose of your email. Additionally, I also included a link to the Steam page. This provides a quick access for extra details in a familiar setting. Not needed, but I think it's helpful. Then I also added a small GIF so they could get a quick look at the game and see if it's something they might be interested in. This could also be a screenshot of the game. I feel like adding something visual to your email will make it more interesting if they do decide to open the email. That said, now that I think about it, my GIF might have been a bit distracting, so that's also something to consider. If you do include a GIF, make sure it's a relatively small size GIF, so there won't be any issues if the creator has a bad internet connection. End it with a signature. In here, I think it's good to use your real name and not hide behind the studio name. It will make you more relatable. That was all there was to my email. I don't advise you to use an exact copy of my email. Ideally, you will pick the best parts and then improve it with your own additions. Let me know in the comments how you think it could be best improved. Before I stop, let's jump back to a topic that I only briefly mentioned in my email, the embargo. To maximize the marketing effect of videos featuring a game, I recommend you send keys to creators a few weeks before release and ask them not to release any videos before the release day. Sending the keys a few weeks in advance will give the creators enough time to try out your game and make a video before the release if they think it will make for good content on their channel. By setting the embargo to your release date, you ensure that anyone who sees the videos has an opportunity to go buy the game right away. If they were to see the video before release, they might go wishlist it, but it's always better to get a sale than a wishlist. Also for some, watching videos of the game before release might spoil the game to the point that they don't actually want to buy it anymore. On the flip side, videos published before the release can build up hype for the game, which can then lead to a snowball effect and spread awareness of your game to the far reaches of the internet. There are definitely pros and cons when it comes to setting an embargo, but my opinion is that for your average indie game, it's better to set an embargo to the release day so you can give your release the biggest boost you can. It's also good to keep in mind that most creators will only make a single video about your game, if any. If they already made a video about your game few months before the release, in most cases they are not likely to feature the game again on release unless they really enjoyed the game. If you do set an embargo, you will get some creators who will break that embargo. As a small indie developer, you don't really have any way to actually enforce the embargo. But luckily, based on my experience, it's only a few small channels that will break it. Then you can just include them on your blacklist and not send them keys for your new games. Or send them a key only after the release. So, final words on embargo. There might be some downsides, but I think overall having an embargo is very beneficial for your release. But hey, that's all I have for this video. Let me know if this information was helpful to you. I still have a few things I could talk about related to approaching video creators. For example, how to find the creators best suited for your game and whether or not you should use existing services to help with the contacting process. So I will probably still dedicate my next 1 or 2 videos to that and then move on to other subjects. Alright, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.